Before we start today's show, make the smart decision and subscribe to us here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We're less than 1,000 subscribers away from another milestone of 80,000 subscribers. And with the offseason officially in full swing, nobody's doing it like we're doing it when it comes to free agency buzz, NFL draft prospect analysis, and nobody goes more in-depth faster than we do when breaking news happens. So subscribe, lock us in, and with that, let's start today's show. Tom Brady not done yet. That's what we're talking about on today's San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, as always, we appreciate you for making the 49ers Report a part of your day. So the latest Niners buzz is that Tom Brady might be interested in still playing. There's some reports and some discussion from Albert Breer as well as Rich Eisen about Brady maybe coming out of retirement yet again for the second consecutive offseason. Let's start first with Rich Eisen. This is what really started this conversation. He was putting together his rumors that he heard from the NFL Scouting Combine. We already talked yesterday about what he had to say about Phillip Rivers reaching out to San Francisco. Here's some tidbits on Tom Brady. This one, Eisen said, just blew my mind. Tom Brady might not be done after all. A couple of people were just like, hang on, just you wait. The one place that folks are saying to keep an eye out for is Miami. If the Dolphins somehow or some way get a doctor's report, a piece of information from a medical evaluation of Tua Tagovailoa that he may not be ready to go, and suddenly there's Tom Brady sitting in Florida where his family is located and where he can easily locate himself, keep an eye on that. I was told by a couple of birdies at the NFL Scouting Combine. There has been some Brady to Miami buzz. There was that weird situation in which Stephen Ross, who is a Michigan grad, owner of the Miami Dolphins, reached out to Brady about him playing quarterback, and then they would hire Sean Payton. Obviously, that did not end up happening or coming to fruition. As for how this involves the San Francisco 49ers, stay tuned for that with what Albert Breer, NFL insider, had to say. First, though, this is our poll question for today's show. We want to hear from you down in the comment section. Will Tom Brady actually come out of retirement again, and will he play football in 2023? P for play, R for he'll stay retired. Sound off with what you think. So what about the San Francisco 49ers? How do they enter the equation here? Albert Breer saying that the 49ers have left that window open to signing Tom Brady. Here's what he said to Colin Cowherd. San Francisco has definitely left the light on for Tom Brady, and they have over the last couple of years. And I think you could argue it's different to ask him to play in March or February, like right now, obviously, than it is to ask him to play in September. If things aren't good in September, could they go to Tom Brady and say, look, we just need you for the next couple of months? That is a timeline that could make sense. Tom Brady right now, he's been skiing with his kids. It looks as though he's enjoying retirement. But could he get that itch to play once again? And could he get that itch to go to the team that he thought about going to in 2022? The organization where there's been a paper trail about their interest in Tom Brady and a paper trail about Brady's interest in San Francisco. It makes a lot of sense with how the roster is constructed, the current timeline of competing in a Super Bowl and competing for a Super Bowl, and with the current injuries taking place to Brock Purdy as well as Trey Lance. We're only getting started on today's show, but first, I need you to help me out. The bosses are putting some pressure on us. They want to see how many Niner fans can subscribe to our NFL Draft channel. Show us some love by subscribing down below. It's youtube.com/chatnfl. Ideally, we want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the day today. And if you're a big NFL fan and you want more NFL draft coverage pertaining to the entire league, not just the San Francisco 49ers, subscribe. It's youtube.com/chatnfl. Bunch of great content on that channel from us grinding from the NFL Scouting Combine. Now, here's why Tom Brady keeps coming up. And here's why he could sign with the San Francisco 49ers. There's uncertainty around Brock Purdy's elbow. He is set to get surgery on Friday. That has now been made official. That's the official date. But when they go in there, If it's a full reconstruction, he could be out a calendar year. If it's that hybrid repair, he could be back by the end of August. He's not the only quarterback who's injured on this football team. Trey Lance is as well, and he's inexperienced. So not only has he suffered a couple of injuries so far in his first 2 years, Trey Lance has 4 starts in the NFL, 21 combined starts going back to 2019, combined with his tenure with the Niners and at North Dakota State, lower level of competition too. And going back to 2016, in real live game action, he's only attempted about 420 total throws. As for this Niners roster, Tom Brady could realistically win another Super Bowl. This is a team that is primed to compete for a Lombardi trophy. They're locked and loaded to make another deep playoff push, and Tom Brady could help them get over the hump. And him doing it with the team that he grew up really loving, that's where his love of football started, as he grew up in San Mateo, idolizing Joe Montana. It makes a lot of sense. And then last week from the NFL Scouting Combine, John Lynch said, we're going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback. Could that veteran quarterback be Tom Brady? I think it's still in play. Colin Cowherd on Tom Brady with the combination of what Mike Silver had to say recently. Mike Silver, who's very connected, covers the Niners. He said it's almost too obvious. Tom's got nothing to do for a year. It's a Super Bowl roster. Purdy may not be ready, and you're not sure if Trey Lance can play and Garoppolo is going to be gone. Who else would you bring in? Of course, the looming question with Tom Brady, can he still play? Guy's 45 years old. He's defied modern science. He's defied father time. He's been a bionic man throughout his NFL career. But last year, the numbers weren't spectacular or superb by any means, but I think that was more of a byproduct of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not being a good team. He still completed nearly 68% of his passes. He still threw, or this is 2021, excuse me. So 2021, he was awesome, right? Still completed nearly 68% of his passes. More than 5,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, 12 picks. That was one of the best years that Tom Brady has ever had throughout his NFL career. And then in 2020, 2019, and 2018, the numbers back up what he was able to do, further adding to his Hall of Fame career. And then last year, here's really where it comes into play. In a down year for a team that seemed to be in tumult, in turmoil all throughout the year, he still completed 67% of his balls. He still threw for nearly 4,700 yards, which is impressive because the offensive line was bad. They were the worst rushing offense in the NFL, and because they lacked pass protection for Tom Brady, a lot of those throws were checkdowns that didn't come for big yardages. Now, he did miss a couple of deep balls, no doubt, but you're telling me with the team that wasn't really all that good, that seemed to be struggling to find their footing all throughout the 2022 campaign, he still completed 67% of his passes. He still threw for 25 touchdowns in a bad year. Imagine what he could do on a roster that's a lot better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with a coaching staff that is far superior than the likes of Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles, when you're comparing them to a guy like Kyle Shanahan and Brian Griese, who did wonders last year with Trey Lance, with Jimmy Garoppolo, as well as Brock Purdy. With that, let's pivot to this question. Should the Niners sign Tom Brady? It's been a big question all throughout this offseason. Just give me a simple P for please or an H for hell nah. We want to hear from the faithful. Quick thoughts here on Trey Lance and then an update on Brock Purdy's surgery. Stay tuned for that. My thoughts on Lance. I think it's pretty telling that all throughout this offseason, the San Francisco 49ers have said, we're going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback. Brock Purdy might not be ready for week 1. The hope is that he is, but there's no promises that's going to be the case. Yet, they haven't said definitively that Trey Lance is going to be quarterback 1, that Trey Lance is going to be the starter. We keep hearing about Tom Brady. We keep hearing about Baker Mayfield and the Niners' interest potentially in him. Shoot, people were talking about Matt Ryan and Andy Dalton to the San Francisco 49ers. Yet, we haven't really heard much from this organization about Trey Lance being quarterback number 1. Well, he has an opportunity to prove himself. He has an opportunity to show why he was selected number 3 in the NFL draft out in North Dakota State, and why the Niners gave up and mortgaged 3 draft picks to take him. He's going to have every single rep throughout OTAs. He's pretty much going to have every single rep throughout training camp. And if Lance does not seize the opportunity, take advantage of it, and win this starting quarterback role, that is on him. The pressure is on Trey Lance to succeed, rise up to the occasion, compete, and lock down this Niners #1 quarterback role. And if he doesn't, that's his own fault. The 49ers quarterback plans, they all depend on Brock Purdy's injury. It's pretty telling, too, that they continue to talk about Brock Purdy being the guy with the uncertainty around his elbow, yet they're not doing the same with Trey Lance. Now, going out and playing the way that Purdy did certainly was telling. That can sway the decision makers in this front office as well as the coaching staff. Him playing like he did in the playoffs certainly impressed them a lot. I just think it's pretty odd that nobody's really talking about Trey Lance having a realistic role to start week 1 for this team, when I don't even think Brock Purdy's going to be ready week 1 to start for this team. As for Purdy's surgery, Jennifer Lee Chan with this from NBC Sports Bay Area. Conflicting reports yesterday. Was the surgery going to be on Wednesday? That's what Silver had reported. Was it going to be on Friday? It's going to be on Friday. Jennifer Lee Chan able to confirm that that the procedure was postponed due to swelling in the elbow area, but now after a checkup last week, he is good to go. Before we hop on out of here, another reminder, subscribe to our NFL Draft channel if you want more draft coverage and analysis from us here at Chat Sports. We have a wonderful team. We grind, we hustle, we work our asses off. It's a blessing to be able to work with people like this, so show us some love because that content will not disappoint. It's youtube.com/chatnfl, and make sure you turn on your notifications here because we'll be going live later here on Tuesday on the 49ers Report.